Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mike, East Dance Evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories most creepy, most pasta, and most Jeffuary. And be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have Pastra's Jeff the Killer rewrite. Chapters 1 to 6. So yeah, we weren't going to do a Jeffuary this year.
Yeah, I was going to be happy this year. But instead I'm going to not be.
We felt we had run out. But a listener emailed us asking if we were going to be doing any more, and offered us a sampling of some other Jeff the Killer stories that we hadn't, or that they thought we hadn't done. But one of them we had done, as I found out not too long ago. So it's been stricken from the record because we're not having another repeat. But the other one that they suggested was Pastra's Jeff the Killer rewrite, which I think I had heard of like a year or two ago, like on Twitter or X or whatever, on Pastra, like announcing that he was like talking about it, because Pastra is a fairly prominent like creepypasta like artist out there. So especially like in more recent years. And yeah, so they did this Jeff the Killer rewrite, and that's what we're going to cover for today, and also for next week, because this is a very long rewrite. It is 9 chapters, in which chapters 1 to 6 are about the same page length as chapters 7 to 9.
Yep. So 7 to 9 is when all the things happen.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. I'll say, like, when I cut it in half, like for like to make it more manageable for us to read and review weekly, I was hoping that like where I ended it, like at chapter 6, would end like in a good spot, and it kind of does.
Yes, it does. But
yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. If you want to check out Pastra's Jeff the Killer rewrite, it is on their Tumblr as a typed up post. So you'll have to like go there, or you can actually give it a listen to at Pastra's YouTube channel, so where they've done like a reading of it.
Nice.
Yeah. And I don't think we need to do a recommendation yet, or at least I don't really have much of a recommendation as of yet, because we aren't going to be completing the story today. But I suppose we'll just dive into the rundown.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with Chapter 1, J. Douglas. A storm rages upon the town of Carpenter's Landing, where Jay is trying to sleep despite the thundering sounds outside, and soon a strange draft in his bedroom inside. He checks and finds that the cold air is the result of a window left open in his shitty apartment, which he doesn't quite recall opening, but he's currently nursing a growing hangover from drinking, so he's not thinking too straight. He chalks it up to something he did when he got home, and despite a new weird smell of cigarettes and burning in his bedroom, he goes to sleep. He is found dead the next day. We then move on to Chapter 2, Samuel Morgan. Samuel wakes up to a call from his partner and sneaks out of bed with his wife still sleeping, and suits up in his officer uniform, and eventually gets to a new crime scene.
I'm glad that you said with his wife still sleeping, because it sounded like he snuck out of the house with his wife.
That's
Like
why I
brought the
added
wife
still
along.
sleeping.
Yeah.
Because when I was writing it, I was like, that's going to sound like that's going to sound exactly what you just brought up.
Yep. So to avoid it, you said that. So then I wouldn't bring it up.
Yeah.
And then I brought it up anyways.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I mean, that is what you do.
I guess. Is that part of my job description now? I'll happily take it.
No, it's just something
derailing you as my
Yes.
job description.
His partner Morgan is waiting for him, and the ambulance is already bringing the body out on a stretcher. It's the same MO as previous killings in town recently. A figure that locals are dubbing the ghost stalker.
The ghost kisser? Is that what I heard?
I was gonna say the ghost killer, but no, it's
That's
the
the thing.
ghost.
It starts saying ghost killer, and then it goes to stalker later.
Oh, did it?
It says both.
Okay, I must have like grabbed when I was doing this rundown. I must have grabbed it from like later because so the ghost stalker or the ghost killer.
Hmm.
Ghost kisser's a lot creepier, honestly. It's like an unconsenting like serial kisser.
Serial kisser.
Uh,
But he only kisses ghosts.
yeah. Oh no, like because like
Or is it a ghost that kisses?
yes,
Cool.
it's a ghost.
I don't know if he would need to be like a mystic adept to like have the ability to contact ghosts to kiss them. If this was Shadowrun, sorry, Mike.
Oh my god, that would be. All right, write down some notes. Anyway, we're not okay. Back to the rundown.
Oh please, yes.
So same MMO as like other killings going on, and this is also obviously Jay's death, like his death scene. Norman reveals he's been doing some digging and on some previous cases, and has 3 people at the station right now to give testimonies on on an assailant they survived, but who has never been caught. Sam is at first reluctant, but with no other leads on the current killer's identity, he allows these interviews to proceed when they get back to the station. We then move on to Chapter 3, Bruce McDonald. First up is Bruce, who, unbeknownst to Bruce, is friends with the late J. Douglas, as the two used to be drinking buddies who caused a lot of mischief all over town. On one such night, when getting back home, Bruce found his crummy apartment door unlocked, but miraculously, nothing was stolen. And then the power went out. Not much else to be done, and pissed drunk at that point, he went to sleep and later woke up to an intense burning smell in his room.
You said that wrong. He goes to sleep.
Yes. Much like how J. Douglas goes to sleep and never woke up. He woke up dead.
That's true.
Worrying about the burning smell, he grabs his phone light and looks around, eventually noticing that someone is under his bed. He spots a hand peeking out from under the bed for a moment. He tries his best to nonchalantly go to the bathroom in order to escape, but is stopped at the door by a voice. The voice belongs to a grotesque, scarred, and pale man getting out from under Bruce's bed, and Bruce flees the scene. He manages to get a hold of a neighbor. The police are called, but they never found the guy. And then we go to Chapter 4, Ashley Carter. Ashley was working on a project about the old Woods family homicide at the campus of the local college they went to, when they realized it was getting really late in the evening. On their walk home, they noticed someone in a white hoodie was trailing them. When they called the person out on it, the guy froze and then began skulking over to Ashley, where they got a better look at the guy's outfit and nature. At first wearing a medical mask, the figure pulled it off and revealed a grotesque pale face with sores and cuts around an unnaturally wide smile. There was an intense smell of burnt something, and the guy pulled a knife as he claimed to be Ashley's brother. This was not Ashley's brother, just in brackets, as far as Ashley knew. Ashley ran at that point, Ashley ran and managed to get home and close the door, though when they looked behind them, there was no one around. Again, it was reported, but the police never found the guy. Then we move on to Chapter 5, Jonathan West. Jonathan and his wife went on a trip out of town into the woods for a little camping trip to get away. They managed to get things set up and a fire going on their first night despite a late start. Everything was going great, peaceful even, until they heard the screams. They hid in the tent as someone began to approach the campsite, and Jonathan pulled out his knife as a silhouette was seen outside in the light of the fire, just standing there. When Jonathan came out and confronted the man, he found the figure was horribly scarred on his face, his white hoodie covered in fresh blood, and he was wielding a box cutter. He also seemed to think that Jonathan was his brother. There was a scuffle, but a freaked out Jonathan managed to stab the hooded figure with his knife and pushed him into the fire before Jonathan and his wife fled the campsite through the dark woods into their car. They called the cops, but again, no one was ever caught. Then we move on to Chapter 6, Norman Keller. After seeing each witness and reassuring them that they would catch this guy, Sam and Norman had to try and put things together. Eventually, Norman realized that there may be some connection between the victims and these witnesses, the current victims and these witnesses through their appearance, all having brown hair, were all Caucasian, in their 20s, and had been, and from the witnesses, had been mistaken by the killer to be somebody that they knew. Things started pointing to something Ashley had been working on, the Woods family homicide, involving a kid named Jeffuary Woods, who murdered his mom, though didn't manage to kill his brother. Jeff was never caught. They start doing some digging, and Sam manages to grab the files for that case, and they get information on the brother, Lou Woods, who was living in town now. The chapter ends with the two officers heading to Lou's apartment to ask him some questions. Finn, for now. But yeah, so that was the rundown, as shaky as it was. I did skim a bunch of stuff because I didn't want this to be like the majority of the episode.
Yeah, of course. If you want to know the full story, read the full story, please.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We encourage you to
because as much as some people say otherwise, we are not we're a discussion podcast. We don't recite the creepypastas here. Yeah, it's so weird when we get like commenters on YouTube. It's like, just read the whole story. Like, already, I'm like, enough of this like review. It's like, you like that's not what we do. But anyway, I suppose we'll move on to everyone tolerates the Grand Inquisitions. At this point, I've got so here's something that we didn't bring up earlier. Yep.
Did everybody do their notes by chapter?
Hell yeah!
Excellent, yep. Excellent. Sorry, I did air guitar like from like excellent.
Oh, I heard none of that. I heard like a like it sounded like you like a cough or like you started the whole from Viva the Dirt League.
God damn it! All right, whatever. So for chapter 1, J. Douglas, I have nothing. What do you guys have?
All right, so I have a quote here from chapter 1. His digital clock struck 2 in the morning when one such sound woke him from his deep sleep.
Okay.
So when a clock strikes, it makes noise.
Is that the definition of that?
Yep.
It actually is?
Yep. When a clock strikes 2, it's when it does the chiming.
It doesn't just mean when it turns exactly 2?
No.
Oh. Well, I learned a thing.
Are you sure that like it can't? No, because like I also looked. I when I pull it up, I actually found like I find a nursery rhyme: "Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1."
Yeah, because that's also an old style grandfather clock that makes noise when it strikes 1.
Okay, but like
it scared it. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but yeah, like again, like yeah, it's an older term, like for like a clock striking. It's not like striking 2 or something like that. But like, it's still like it's still like you still gets across like what's going on.
Yeah, but my issue is when a clock strikes 1 or 2 or whatever, to me, that means it's making noise saying that it's 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or whatever. Because that's what striking means.
Or an alarm going off because of that
Okay.
that time.
So what is your thing here? Like his digital clock,
Hit? Can you use hit
2?
instead?
Yeah, hit 2
Yeah.
or I don't. I think it's a little pedantic, but okay. Like I think struck or strike is just as valid as like his digital clock marked 2 in the morning, or
Rolled over to 2 in the morning.
rolled over to 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you could do that as well. But like even that's like technically an anachronism, because like rolling over could be like one of those like from an older like kind of digital clock, or like, well, even those like flip clocks. So
Or you could just go the moment his clock hit. No, the moment his clock turned 2. Then there's no hitting, there's no rolling. It's just it turned to that number.
I guess, yeah. If you want to be that pedantic, but okay.
I'm trying to solve the pedanticness for us to move on.
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't complain that's pedantic, because I mean that's most of our grammar inquisition. Ayo. Half the time anyway. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. That's all I have for chapter 1.
Okay. Gamer.
No.
All right, chapter 2, Samuel Morgan. I don't have anything. Mikey?
Second. Chapter 2. Occasion, male, brunette, early 20s. So my issue, which is technically a non-issue, is the use of brunette.
Yep.
Because brunette is typically meant for females.
It's not technically a non-issue. It is an issue because it's spelt wrong. Because the male version of brunette is BRUNET.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
And yeah,
It's just because I looked this up as well. Because it's basically the same thing with blonde. If there's an E on the end, that's the feminine spelling of blonde.
Yeah. And that probably stems from like what language it comes from, because like blonde and brunette is French, which has gendered words in it.
So the way that he says it, audibly, it would sound the same, but as written, it's technically wrong.
Mhm.
Although, in the modern time, most people would just say brown hair for a guy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yep.
Okay, all right. Agree to disagree on that, but
Really?
yeah, I don't see, like I'd use brunette for either man or woman. So
Fair enough. But either way, Norman's like a younger cop, and he might be doing things by the book, and like the official technical term is brunette. So that's fine that he's using that definition over the casual one of just saying that he has brown hair. But regardless, the spelling is wrong.
Okay. You get it on a technicality.
We get it.
Yes.
I was actually referring to.
cultist.
Yeah, sure. All right. Do you have anything else for grammar inquisition for this chapter?
For chapter 2, no.
Gamer, do you have anything for grammar for chapter 2?
For chapter 2, no.
All right. Chapter 3, Bruce McDonald. I do have stuff here. Italics.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way it's used though in this story, it's all right by me. It's used when it's the testimonies, like, and only when it's the like it seems to be only when the testimonies are here, and then it switches back to regular. So it's like whatever, I'm fine with it.
That makes one of us.
I know, I understand. But then I have another thing actually for chapter 3. I let out a horrible scream, throwing my door open and sprinting through my apartment as fast as my weak legs to take me. My weak legs to take me. I think it should be as fast as my weak legs would take me.
Or could.
Or could take me, yeah. Would or could. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Or shoulda. You could have said shoulda taken me.
Should take me, yeah.
If I wasn't drunk.
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like that was kind of weird. Like, like my weak legs to take me was kind of like what? But that is all I have for chapter 3. Mikey,
I got nothing.
Gamer.
So, italics.
All right, yes, the counterpoint to me.
You're fine with them.
I'm fine with it. It's like I'm giving it a pass with this one because like it's still like a weird it's still very subtle, like it's still pretty subtle. Like I only caught it as I was reading, like, oh, these are italics. But like again, it's used the majority of time when it's used in the story, and it's like swaths of the story when it's the testimony from one of the witnesses' point of view. So it's like whatever.
However,
All right.
generally speaking, italics are used for like thoughts. So unless like there's some telepathy going on, it doesn't really make sense. But joking aside,
Okay.
I get that it's meant to denote that this is like dialogue, this whole thing. But it's weird when there's like quoted dialogue within it as well, of him recalling how someone else said things. So, I might be wrong, as I often am, but personally, I would double quote the start and end of every paragraph and single quote
Oh God.
each instance of Bruce quoting someone else within it.
I
Also,
think
you say "oh God" like it's a hard thing to
I
put
just-
a freaking quote at the start
No,
and
but
end
like
of
it's
the
just
freaking paragraph.
it just seems again. It just seemed that seems like it'd be just as easy just to use italics for this. But
I'm not talking about easy or hard. I'm talking about what is like makes more sense to read because like you get it immediately that it's him talking because he's talking.
okay, fair.
But yeah, that's my whole point with it.
Yeah, this is a agree to disagree thing for me. So, but
It's true.
Yeah.
Because like when I look at it, it almost looked like instead of because it's all italics, it almost looks like Sam picked up the document of what Bruce wrote down about his account and just read it to himself. That's what it looks like because it's entirely different format. It's all in italics.
Yeah, because it uses the italics to separate who's the narrative, and then because at the very end of the story, the very end of those chapters, we get non-italic sentences where where the story finishes, and Bruce and
it goes back to normal.
Norman.
I understand that, but italics suck is the thing.
I do agree. Like most,
there is
most
no
fonts,
realistically good use of italics in any instance of any language.
you are still vehemently anti-italics.
I absolutely am.
Anti-italics.
Yeah.
Anti-italics. There we go. Yeah.
There you go.
Fair.
But yeah, okay. Moving on from that though.
Mhm.
So after Bruce, in Bruce's story,
Yep.
When he gets away from the killer and he's speaking to the police in the story, it says, they asked me a couple of questions, finding empty beer bottles and tobacco around my house. I assured them that he was there and that I had no idea who he was. So the way that this is brought up, it sounds like the cops were doubting the validity of his story due to the fact he might have been drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So
I get the alcohol bit,
yeah.
but why tobacco? It's not like it causes hallucinations or anything. Like maybe if it was weed or something, it would make more sense. But as it is, personally, I would just reference the beer bottles. However, later on, it does after all this, it says how he's talking about how he's not doing alcohol anymore and he stopped smoking weed. Like it's brought up that he smoked weed. So maybe that first mention of tobacco was meant to actually be weed. I don't know.
Yeah, I think honestly, I gave it a pass because but I did take note of that. I was like, yeah, I mean, the tobacco. Maybe he mentioned the tobacco, they saw the tobacco, and maybe that's what he the beer bottles and the tobacco. He reported to the cops that he smelled something kind of burning smell, and and they found tobacco. It's maybe that's what it is. But then later on, a paragraph or two later, we get that he's gotten clean and says he's cut weed and alcohol out of his system. So it's so that probably maybe that was supposed to be weed, and the cops found traces of weed and the beer bottles and such.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Basically that whole line made me confused whether this is the cops saying that this guy was just seeing shit because he's high and or drunk, or the tobacco is used, as you said, to describe the burning smell that he described the assailant to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's left up in the air which it's meant to be. So I don't know. Unless it's also saying that the empty beer bottles and the tobacco weren't his, like they were left there by the killer. But that
Yeah,
seems strange that Jeff would have the ability to just like spawn beer bottles and tobacco wherever he goes.
Yeah. I think honestly this like a quick fix for this would have just been like switch tobacco to like weed.
Yeah.
Like finding empty beer bottles and traces of weed around my house. Like, bam, done.
And because of that, it seemed like they didn't believe me. Like, say a simple line like that.
Yeah, because it's already established that Bruce alongside Jay were like partying delinquents. So like they're like having weed and beer and some of that in their crummy, shitty apartments is not out of the ordinary. Is in character for them. So yeah.
One thing that they never do in any of these is like look for traces of the killer. Like if he was hiding underneath the bed, like there would be like samples of hair or something under there.
You would think, but maybe that's why, like, again, why the police are so stumped is like Jeff doesn't leave a trace.
Even though like his hair's fallen out and I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's a reason why he's dubbed the ghost killer.
Yeah.
Is Jeff actually a supernatural? We'll have to find out, like, because it's not really brought up in this series, except for like the witnesses like reporting like how he just kind of like appears and reappears, or he disappears as quickly as he appears.
That could just be a Jason Bourne situation, though.
I was about to say, don't you be Jason Bourne? He says like, no, Jason Bourne also just ghosts.
Yeah. I was going the most mundane possible of someone just disappearing.
God, now I want like a mock-up of like the Bourne Identity like posters with like the Voorhees identity. It's just like Jason Voorhees. Or it's just Matt Damon with a hockey mask.
So you can't see that's Matt Damon.
Yeah.
On top of his head, of course.
Yeah, clearly.
But yeah, that's all I got for grammar on that one.
All right. That one I'll actually give you today because like that one I think could have been fixed with like the switching out weed or switching in weed there. So
well, thank you for blessing me with a win.
You're welcome.
It so rarely happens.
Yeah. Chapter 4, Ashley Carter. I got nothing. Mikey.
All right. At the very beginning, I was born and raised in Carpenter's Landing, unfortunately.
Oh, I typoed over that one.
Yeah, me too. Whoops.
I like immediately like went to the
Carpenters. Yeah.
Carpenters. Not even. Yeah. Wow. So it's like Carpenter's Landing, home of the carp tent, or the tented carp. Some kind of like some kind of like town fish mascot.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, that should definitely be and obviously should be carpenters, not.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do like carpenters though.
Yeah, I keep thinking like I know it says carpenters. I keep thinking carpenters. So I was like tender.
Mm-hmm.
You're like
no, it's like a carp that enjoys being outside in a tent.
Or instead of carp fish sticks.
Mm-hmm. Would you like fish sticks?
I'm not going to engage with that.
You like putting fish sticks in your mouth?
Mikey, what else do you got?
All right. So my next one here. I never did see him again, but I have spent every single night after fearing that I will. So I feel like this needs a comma after. So
okay, yeah.
I never did see him again, but I have spent every single night after fearing that I will.
Yeah, a comma would work there.
Yeah, for sure. Because they're not after fearing.
Yeah.
That's like the fear that comes after the fear, after fear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then my next one here. He tried to the best of his ability to give them some form of comfort, leaning forward on the table with his elbows as he spoke. So I fix this by putting a comma after tried and a comma after ability.
Yeah, because it's the same situation kind of with the after fearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he tried, to the best of his ability, to give them some form of comfort, leaning forward on the table with his elbows as he spoke.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
a lot better.
Yep.
And that's all I have for chapter 4.
All right. Gamer.
No.
All right. On to chapter 5. Jonathan West. Nope. Mikey. The E stands for evil.
All right. I screamed for Sherry to run, and soon after her and I were bolting through the dark forest together, tripping over branches and shrubbery, but continuing forward regardless. So I put a comma after soon after. So I screamed for Sherry to run, and soon after, her and I were bolting through the dark forest together, tripping over branches and shrubbery, but continuing forward regardless.
Man, I'm just like, I typo-neezed over this while I was reading this. Also, all hail Mikey, the comma king.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm noticing a trend.
And that's all I have for chapter 5.
All right. Gamer.
Okay. I'm going to follow that, the comma king. I'll ride along following that, being the comma rider.
Oh, that's good. Fuck.
Do I get advantage on my next roll?
Oh, shit, man. Yeah. Were this our other podcast, One Less Die, I would 100% give you an advantage on that.
Yeah. But no, we're here. So,
at the very least, a karma.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
If it was Shadowrun. Sorry, Mikey.
Yeah. So this quote here. Even with the path, we took the forest was dense, blah, 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 blah. That's how I read it anyways. Because there was no comma, and it needs one. Because what it says is, because it's even with the path we took, the forest was dense.
Yeah.
Is the whole thing with no comma and just periods. So, personally, I think it'd be better if there is a comma after took. So it'd be even with the path we took, the forest was dense.
Yeah.
Because they didn't take the forest.
No.
And I got one more. Which is not a comma one, sadly. I know. So I don't know if this is grammar technically. This might be a note thing, but it's a discrepancy in the story. So you tell me if a discrepancy in the story would be grammar related or just a note. Okay, fine. So this story, Sherry excitedly pointing to everywhere she wanted to visit on this map that she brought along. Also this story, large oak trees surrounded us around every corner, with shrubs and other plant life huddled beneath them, making the forest a nightmare to navigate without a map on hand. So, do they have a map or do they not have a map?
So so I gotta find where that first part was. Is that like the first or second paragraph?
Sherry excitedly pointing to everywhere she wanted to visit on this map that she brought along.
Okay, in that case, then yeah, this isn't a Blair Witch Project thing where like apparently Sherry like tossed the map into the river or into a nearby creek because it was useless to them, and that's why they got lost.
Smart move.
Spoilers for Blair Witch Project. It's from the 90s. You should have watched it by now. But yeah, so yeah, no, I think that might be a discrepancy, like that for maybe if like it's like the later thing that you had that said like because thankfully they had a map so they could navigate through the forest and the trees and ferns and stuff like that, or
well, it could even just like okay, the quote is large oak trees surrounded us around every corner, with shrubs and other plant life huddled beneath them, making the forest a nightmare to navigate without a map on hand. So it could just say making the forest a nightmare to navigate even with a map on hand, because there's so much plant life.
Well, I do also kind of see where what it is also saying with that, like as it is, because it's like it
Oh,
would have been. Yeah, you got it. It would have been a nightmare if they didn't have a map. Thankfully, they do.
but it
Like
doesn't say that.
it's because you got to read between the lines, sir. It's called subtlety, asshole. No, I don't actually think you're an asshole. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad.
I mean, you are, but no.
I'm very confused now.
Excellent. But yeah, that one's supposed to be a little bit that's a little bit of like read between lines kind of subtlety thing. So
Yeah, maybe.
Mhm.
It would be nice to say, like, making the forest a nightmare to navigate even with the map on hand, or good thing we had the map on hand, otherwise it would be a nightmare to navigate.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Regardless, I feel like there should be some change, because it's too subtle for my stupid brain to figure out. Either way, I'm done with 5.
Okay. On to chapter 6, Norman Keller. I still got nothing. Mikey.
Right. It is time for me to reveal that I have a conjunction
No.
junction.
Of
No.
course you do.
No. 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 Dun dun dun. All right.
And next stop, Conjunction Junction. Doot, doot.
Chapter 1. J. Douglas. It was one of the worst storms the town had seen in years, and it showed no signs of stopping. It fell to the ground loudly, hitting first against the lamps that sat next to it, and then rattling against the floorboards, aggravating the hangover he could already feel coming on.
So like the storm is going like through his house and just like harassing him when he's trying to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got no roof on his house at all.
No, it's just like I mean, based on like the descriptions people give of Carpenter's Landing, this town is like barely holding together.
Yeah, so that's kind of like on brand.
Yeah.
It felt like at any moment it might split open. It illuminated the room in an instant, revealing the shadow to be nothing more than the pile of dirty laundry he had let sit there for well over a week now. It
The ceiling
felt
did
like
split open because it said a second ago like it felt like it could split open at any moment. Then it did.
Nice.
It felt like someone was grabbing at his brain and squeezing, a sensation that was nearly enough to make him vomit. But the grogginess of sleep was washing over him once more, and the accompanying headache now felt like a hammer continuously hitting against the front of his skull. Chapter 2. Samuel Morgan. And what about family? It's definitely our guy.
Vin
But
Diesel.
that doesn't mean we aren't getting closer. And after a couple hours digging into some old reports and talking to some people, I think we might be able to figure out who our guy is. But trust me, I got something good here. It took him a moment to regain his train of thought before he could continue. And what makes you think this wasn't a coincidence? And that, my friend, is why I asked them all to come to the station today. But Norman, this better not be a waste of our time. It won't be. Trust me. And with that he drove off, splashing water from the street everywhere. Chapter 3. Bruce MacDonald. It was something I did far more often than I like to admit. It was a stormy night like this one. Rain flooded the street so badly that Jay could barely keep his shitbox of a car on the road.
Hang on, I'm gonna let you finish. Based on the context right now, Norman sped out of there, splashing rain everywhere, and then it goes on to describing how he's driving his car shittily, like Jay is driving his car shittily. So Norman is also Jay.
Oh my god.
Plot twist.
Jay faked his own death, or Jay faked his death and became Norman.
Yes, absolutely.
The rookie cop. He's so fresh. He literally he faked his death. Like he killed Norman, faked his death, replaced Norman's body with his own, and then took on Norman's life.
Yes, absolutely, and no one noticed because he's still the new guy.
Yeah,
he's so new that no one knows.
Yeah. Please continue.
Yes, please.
It was 3 a.m. when I shot awake, sitting up in my bed in a cold sweat. It looked so painful, almost like his true smile stopped at a certain point and roughly transitioned into large, infected wounds that held the shape of it. It wasn't long before officers arrived and searched the entire premises. It seemed like the man had slipped out in the time it took for them to get there. And don't worry, we promise that this man will be caught. Chapter 4. Ashley Carter. It was as these lights began to illuminate the streets that I noticed him following me. It was foul and almost made me gag. But he persisted and seemed almost offended by what I'd said to him. It looked so painful. It was close by. I knew the route, and it was only a couple minutes away when walking. But they'll catch him. Chapter 5. Jonathan West. It was going to be perfect. But, of course, it didn't stay that way for long. It was a single scream, sounded like a young man. It echoed out loudly before the woods returned to that same silence we grew accustomed to in an instant. And then another scream shattered the quiet once more, this one sounding more strained and painful than before, until abruptly stopping just as quickly as it began. It felt like a miracle when we saw the moonlight piercing through the trees, revealing the forest exit to us. It's gotten especially bad now that word has gotten out about the ghost stalker, or whatever else people are calling him.
Like the ghost kisser.
Yes. The most threatening version.
Yeah.
Chapter
I mean,
6.
with lips like those, yeah, no, it is like, ugh.
Actually, yeah.
Based on the descriptions we've gotten so far of the ghost stalker.
Mm-hmm. That being said, ask Tumblr and they'll disagree.
Yeah, true.
Chapter 6. Norman Keller. But they were close enough that there is no way this wasn't the same guy, right? And I think you're gonna like what I found. It wasn't often that Norman saw his partner so proud of his detective skills. It made him more excited about the revelation than he ever was before. And so they walked together to the apartment complex, ready to talk with the person who may bring them one step closer to catching their killer. Finn.
Wow.
There was a lot.
I was hearing a lot of. I was also hearing a lot of dialogue episode in the story.
I mean, you shouldn't be surprised anymore.
I shouldn't.
In these stories where Mikey grabs all the sentences throughout a story that start with words that probably shouldn't, like gets, ins, or buts, and there's always better words to use, and he grabs those and puts those into a story with sometimes hilarious results. He often grabs dialogue because content.
Yes, fair enough. Also, yeah, we like based on some of our interjections, there were some funny little bits.
Yes. That happens when you read stuff completely out of context.
Yeah. All right. So that's all you've got for Chapter 6. Gamer, do you have anything for Chapter 6?
No.
All right. On to actual thoughts. Finally. So we're starting
Those
back
that use the shortcut to skip here, welcome back.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I should
put it. Do you actually put those in?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I leave
You
that
can just
in
completely
the
skip the grammar.
Yeah. I probably should go back to doing that again. I mean, like sometimes like we do like sometimes it's pedantic and like it's like all right, we're basically just proofreading. And then sometimes we do have like little funny bits in it. So it's like hard to gauge sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But I digress. Actual thoughts. We has them. Chapter 1, J. Douglas. I'm going to start with this one here. Rain poured down on Carpenter's Landing relentlessly. Ha! That's funny. You know, because Jeff's last name, usually in like Jeff the Killer stories, is Jeffrey Woods, as it is in this story. Wood, Carpenter. You know, no. Okay.
Yes, I get it.
That's all.
What was the previous town? Was it not always Carpenter's Landing?
So Jeff the Killer, he can be anywhere, and like from previous like rewrites and previous stories, he's always in like different locations. Usually, it's somewhere in like the southeast. The southeast coastline of the U.S., like usually around like we've had stories where he's in like Pennsylvania, New York, Georgia, Louisiana. Like I think he was in somewhere like he was in like a in the one rewrite that we actually really liked. He was I think the town was somewhere like near New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
So
is Carpenter's Landing a real place?
I looked it up as I like to do. The best I could find was what might be a neighborhood in some place in Texas, but that is the only place I could find, and I couldn't. And for future thing, like because we do get a college name later, the best I could find for that. I tried looking that up as well in conjunction with the Carpenter's Landing I found in Texas, and there's no college called that. So.
Damn.
As far as I know, this is a fictional place created for this fictional story. So,
well, I'm glad you did your own detective work here.
I did, yeah. Here's my files.
Mm-hmm.
Are you proud of me, partner?
Sure.
All right, but yeah, that's all I've got for Chapter 1. So, Mikey, D stands for evil.
I'm good.
Okay, Gamer.
No, you're evil. The E stands for evil. Should know this.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's not Mike G.
That's his brother.
Yeah, Mike G is his evil twin brother in quotes.
Yeah, true. That's Bizarro Mikey.
Yeah, Mike G. Mick G. He's also got a Scottish Irish accent.
Yeah, of course.
But
okay, so either way, a first note regarding Jay noticing that his door to his bedroom was open.
Mm-hmm.
He says, this was odd. Jay lived alone, and he could have sworn that he closed the door behind him when he got home from work that night. Personally, I don't know how truly odd that is, considering Jay had just gotten wasted alone in his apartment the night before. So, like, a bit of an unreliable memory.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of these things. A lot of the reasons why they don't pick up certain things, or they have like issues remembering things in the story.
Mm-hmm. And even later on, when with like the living room window open, Like I was still thinking, like, yeah, this guy doesn't remember anything. So for all we know, this could all just be a mundane red herring.
Yeah. And certainly
that
up until the very end of the chapter, it does seem like that.
kind of, yeah. And yeah, this whole opening section kind of feels like the intro kill to a movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's like very little context. It's just a dude like just dealing with life, and then
yeah. Like if the final scene of this final kill, like before it's reported that he's dead, would have been like him like getting into bed, like trying like kind of like twisting and turning, finally getting to sleep, and then like the flash of lightning, would have like revealed Jeff in the corner.
Yes.
As like for a split second, and then that would have been like it would have cut to the next morning when he's found dead.
Mm-hmm. Or cut to his neck,
or yeah, but or it would have cut to the next scene, which would have actually been chapter 2, which is like Samuel waking up and finding out that there's a new murder case, and then we find out that murder case is Jay because he's been killed. So
the exact way that it's set up in the actual story.
Exactly, no, exactly. But like, but yeah, yeah,
because reading the story it is very visual.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of it happening as if it was a movie, as you're describing it.
Very cinematic, I think is the term you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for chapter 1.
All right. Chapter 2, Samuel Morgan. Got this one here. Oh, right. Yeah. Same as all the others. Caucasian, male, brunette, early 20s. Was found at around 5 a.m. by his sister, who came by to check on him. Poor girl found him in his bed with his throat slashed. Norman let out a long, exasperated sigh, as I do. Now, I did unintentionally.
Yeah, you really did.
as he finished explaining. So I guess he was basically saying it in the same breath that I just did. But anyway,
maybe, or just in your head you were switching characters, so like you were getting ready to say dialogue from a guy that's like exasperated with this.
Yeah. But yeah, so my comment here is like at 5 a.m. Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
Wow, I guess maybe like the fact like because we find out later like Jay is just like a delinquent and like is definitely not having had a rough patch. Like he's like very pessimistic about his life and such. And so I guess maybe with like all that drinking, it was maybe becoming noticeable to his loved ones, or at least to his sister. But it seems a bit early in the morning to check up on your brother, unless there's some inciting provocation. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe like it just seemed kind of odd that like she would have showed up to like do a wellness check on him, or like just to check up on him at 5 in the goddamn morning.
Yeah, it is weird, honestly. Like, not to question his sister's motives, but she's a prime suspect at this point.
Exactly.
Who else would check on someone who works all day and drinks all night at 5 a.m, otherwise to murder them?
Yeah, like maybe if like a daughter or sister found him at like when she went to check on him at 10 a.m, I could buy that more.
I don't know. I prefer the plot twist that this is actually a Jane the Killer story.
Oh my god, that would be holy shit. What's it? His name? His name's J. Douglas. What's his sister's name? Jane Douglas.
Yeah. Of course. Oh. Wow.
Bam.
Amazing.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Yeah, the whole like Woods homicide, like Woods family homicide thing, like going to check on Jeff, like Jeffrey Wood and like Lou and all that. It's all a fucking red herring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that would be so amazing. Anyway, or the previous like sightings of Jeff were Jeff, but these new killings of the ghost killer or the ghost stalker is Jane.
I would not hate that twist. Partially because I invented it.
Like my head is just like,
but it's cool.
Yeah, my brain just had a brain blast with that. I was like, oh, what a revelation. Kind of.
Yeah, for sure. But joking aside, I would assume that she would probably check on him maybe when he gets off work or before he goes to work. Like maybe he works at 6 a.m, so she gets there at 5 because he's possibly up and getting ready to go to work.
Or like maybe she picks him up in the morning for work.
Maybe.
Like maybe, yeah, like that kind of thing. Like I could see maybe, or like, but although that wouldn't make sense because like he does drive around. But like, yeah, it just seems like a little early to be checking up on your brother.
Yeah, a simple line of like he was found around 5 a.m. by his sister who came to check on him before he went to work.
Yeah. So
Like that would answer all of our questions.
Mhm.
Because the other option would be she would be waiting around at his place after he gets back.
True.
But he'd be dead by then, so I don't know. Or I don't know. Or it could have been, I don't know.
Regardless, it just seems a little too early for her. Like,
Yeah.
it definitely makes her suspicious.
It's a little early without clarification as to why it was that early.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have for chapter 2. Mikey.
I'm evil.
Okay.
Cool. That's a new
Gamer.
bit now.
Yep. I'm evil.
Yeah. So, question. What accent did you guys give Norman Keller, his partner? Because he says words like elp and closa, so I went with like a Brooklyn kind of voice.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm movie savvy. He was the rookie, the black rookie, like cop of
fair.
And Samuel was the old white disgruntled cop.
Mm.
Like so yeah, like
That
Norman
went like
Norman,
heavy like Brooklyn or New York.
yeah,
guy.
Norman came very like New Yorker, like fast talking youthful cop. Like I've seen literally I was envisioning the cop partner from that of the dad in Monster Squad who's sounds and acts exactly like Norman in this.
Oh, okay.
And he's just like a fast talking like wisecracking like black guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm glad we both went there.
Yep.
At least with the sound of his voice. Because I do like that there is instead of just saying his dialogue, you could see his accent through it.
Yeah, and even like how his mannerisms and stuff shown in like
with the hands everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really like the story really fleshed out its detectives.
Yes.
But yeah, anything else?
Yes. My last note on this one is so the cops show up at the apartment. They talk about what happened for 5-10 minutes outside in the rain and then leave to go to the station. They don't even bother to go check the crime scene. Like, I assume other officers got there first, have already done so. Yeah. But it just seems weird that these two detectives... Are they detectives or cops?
Like actual both.
Police officers?
Technically, they're like probably both. Cops. Like, yeah, they're probably like beat cops.
Okay, well, either way, it seems weird that they don't go and investigate. Like, maybe it's because, like, the killer has done this so often and then they never find anything, so it's like, why bother? But the one time they don't look is the time that they would find something. Yeah, the kind of the vibe I got from this was like Samuel took so long to get to the crime scene. The crime scene had already been looked into by forensics. Like they'd already brought the body out and they were taking it back to the morgue for an autopsy and such. Like, yeah, so case closed. Just don't bother. Yeah, no, but like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like they already have the information they need from the scene to get, and like Norman's already looked into it probably. So like Norman's basically just catching his partner up. Mm-hmm. Still, like they were specifically called in to check this out. It's weird that they didn't check it out, regardless of how late he got there. Fair. And that's all I got for that chapter. Also, just hanging out for like 10 to 15 minutes in the rain. Yeah, like maybe go in your car, or just go to the front porch. Like he's probably got a. Or not porch. It would probably be like an apartment complex. So there's probably like a porch on the apartment. In that little like that little like kind of or not enclosed area, but even that little like a little hangover kind of thing, or like a little it's not overhang. Oh no, hangover is what Jay had. Yeah, when he was alive. Yeah. No, I mean like you know what I mean. Like it's not a porch, but like it's like an overhang. It's a front step where the door is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. But yeah. But that's all you have for chapter 2? Yes. All right, then we'll move on to chapter 3. Bruce McDonald.
I knew exactly what that meant. Going over to the main light switch to my apartment and flicking it up and down. No lights. If you knew what that was, which obviously was a power outage because like the power, like the everything went dark, why would you then go over to your light switch to test it? I just not to nitpick it too much here, but like I feel like at the very least, the action of checking the lights should be put before the comment of knowing that the power was out. Like have the action of him like going over to the power, like going over to his light switch and flicking it off and on, no lights. I knew exactly what that meant. Like power's out.
I guess.
Yeah. It might be a little nitpicky, but it just seemed like it just kind of bugged me. It's like why would you even bother testing the light switch if like, all the lights went out in your fridge and around you?
In the case, it was a breaker that blew or something.
I guess.
Oh yeah, so it might not be the whole apartment. It might just be a certain room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then maybe even like switch it. Like I don't know. It's like maybe if he had like. Again, maybe I'm just being pedantic here. That's my word.
Maybe it's
today.
also because he's drunk.
Yeah, true. That is all. That is also true. He was making the worst sandwich imaginable, a mustard and cheese sandwich.
Delicious.
Breakfast of or night sandwich of champions.
I can't hate it too much because it's a sandwich with yellow on it.
Yeah, and honestly, I hate to say it, like I have been that drunk where I've made that sandwich, and that sandwich is terrible, but is glorious. So
okay.
Yeah, so agree to disagree on Bruce saying it's the worst sandwich ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. I'll move on. That was when I saw something that I still remember clear as day, even in the dark of my room, even despite the grogginess and intoxication I was fighting off at the time. A hand that for but a moment was revealed sticking out from under my bed. A hand which quickly retreated back into the darkness the moment the light of my flashlight revealed it. I froze there for a moment, staring down at the floor in a surreal form of terror I had never felt before. Honestly, same. That is one of those fears that has stuck with me since childhood, honestly. When I used to get nightmares of someone's hands at the bedroom door, like just poking through the bedroom door, or just kind of appearing around my bed. I used to get those very vividly when I was a kid. And so reading this part, it's like, yeah, that would be very fucking terrifying.
It is a very classic boogeyman kind of vibes.
Yeah. Just the visual of the hand spotted, exposed from a hiding place, and even like shirking away, is a really creepy idea for me. Like, it's a really good creepy scene because like I hate that's what gets me the most in like creepy YouTube videos and stuff is when I like somebody's like walking through the woods and you just see like somebody's hand wrapped around a tree, and that's it. Like that scares me more than like what could be behind the tree.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's because like what like I'm thinking what's behind that tree, like who's behind that tree.
It could just be a dude taking a piss for all you know, but still, it's scary.
Yeah. Then why has he wrapped his entire arm around the tree? So it's just like grasping, like groping the other side of the tree.
It's peeing inside a hole in the tree.
Oh, no, he's not peeing in that tree.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Good old yeah. But yeah, anyway, like that scene of like, and even like movies like The Signs also like implement it really well, where like a hand is just like a hand like poking somewhere it ought not to be. Is like just really effective as like a subtle yet creepy jump scare for me too. So, yeah. Then the next thing I have here, months later, I ended up going to rehab. The whole experience kind of scared me straight in a weird way. Seeing someone like that in my house, being that close to potentially dying, it put the state of my life into perspective in a way I never thought it would. Wow. See, Jeff the Killer's helping.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Toad's helping. Yeah. Yeah, that's just my bit there. It's just like, I was like, yeah, see, like he got scared. He got scared sober.
Mm-hmm. He's doing the community a service.
Yeah, he's really, Jeff's really a good guy here.
Just don't even joke about that. How
All
dare
right.
you? This is why
Mikey,
everyone loves him.
yeah, exactly. He's just a good Samaritan.
Yeah, totally.
Now just picturing Jeff the Killer as played by Sylvester Stallone from like one of that new movie that Stone was in with the Samaritan. I think is like, I'm not the good guy, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't say.
It's
I
a scene
can't join you in the joy of it.
Fair. Go to sleep. I am the. There's more Sylvester Stallone as Jeff the Killer.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, Mikey, do you have anything for chapter 3?
No.
Gamer.
Yeah, I got a few things. The first one is just kind of overarching a little bit, talking about how I like the way that the chapters are spaced out and like basically switching between pro tags each one, and it actually flows pretty well, surprisingly.
Yeah.
In doing so.
Like how we get that little bit at the end, right, where it like transitions from like one of them leaves the interview room and then another one shows up down the hall.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my next one, the quote is, a couple of months ago, myself and a few friends went on a week-long bender, traveling around the city and getting up to no good. It was something I did far more often than I like to admit. My buddy Jay in particular enabled this behavior in me, convinced me there was nothing else to do in this city, and he needed friends to keep him company while he spiraled out of control. So when Bruce mentions Jay, I'm surprised that Sam didn't chime in with is that Jay as in Jay Douglas, referring to the murder victim? I feel like that's important to know. Later on,
yep.
I know what you're going to say.
I'll stop.
Later, they do bring up that both Sam and Norman didn't want to bring up that Jay Douglas died to scare or worry Bruce when he was giving like the story out. Yeah. But I wish they mentioned that ahead of time. That okay, like if any of these guys know Jay, don't mention that Jay's dead because he just died.
Yeah.
But like instead, they both just know not to mention it. Like maybe there's another instance of telepathy going on in the story.
Yeah,
because it's the second time.
I guess it could have had a part where like the italics stopped like after he mentions Jay's name and stuff like that, and it cuts to like a very brief scene where like the two cops like give each other glances.
I was about to say that. Yeah,
okay. Not bad.
But yeah, I just wish that they at least asked for Jay's last name. Like they could say like all the details are important, and like if he refuses to give the full name, like they would let it pass to not push it and make it weird. But not seeing the attempt was odd. And like I was like what you said earlier. At the end, there's the line of Norman looked over at Samuel with concern, his eyes wide since the mention of who the two assumed to be Jay Douglas. Samuel met his partner's gaze knowingly, quietly shaking his head and hoping that Norman would get the hint to not tell the man in front of them what happened to his friend. If that line was put right after Bruce mentioned his friend Jay, that would have been perfect, honestly.
Yeah.
Because that's one of my main problems with all of these like stories being told to the detectives. Like they don't interject at all. They just sit there, listen to a story, and say, "Yep, we'll catch him. See you later."
To be fair, I think that is probably what cops usually do. They kind of want the witness to give the whole story like interrupted, so they don't cause any bias.
Yeah, but if they bring out, okay, they are investigating the murder of a guy named Jay Douglas, and this guy comes in talking about his friend named Jay. There's a lot of Jays living in this city. That if this happens to be the same guy, then that gives us that gives them more information on the murder.
I think at the very least, maybe at the end, they could have like, oh, what was your friend Jay's name? Like at the end there, maybe. Like as they're like saying, like, don't worry, we'll catch this guy. Oh, by the way, you mentioned a guy named Jay. Like, what's his name? Or what's his full name? Yeah,
because like we might want to contact him.
Yeah, but I don't. But I wouldn't see them like interrupting a witness's like story as they're laying it out, because like They'd save that till after, basically.
You say that, but from my vast knowledge of watching TV and movie cops interviewing people, they put the recorder down and then they have a conversation. Like the guy's telling the story, but they interject and ask stuff and get clarification because the person telling the story isn't necessarily going to tell them all the information they want out of it. Like, because they could just say like, oh, so there was this guy that showed up and he attacked my friend and then we ran away. But then they'd be like, okay, well, what did the guy look like? Like that sort of situation where they're giving information but not enough information. And I feel like this is one of those instances.
I suppose. I don't like that. Like that might be a little too cinematic in that, or like that might be something like.
The whole thing is cinematic.
What I mean is like that might be something more like grounded in movies or like in TV versions of police versus like real police procedures. But I also don't know. But
yeah, I don't know. I'm not an authority on it, so I don't know. But regardless, there is that nice line where the two cops look at each other and silently decide not to say anything. I just wish that was right after they said Jay.
Yeah, that I do agree that would heighten that part. So
yes. And then my next one, or my last one for chapter 3. God, we're only on 3.
We're halfway there.
Yeah, we're living on over.
Yeah.
What was the joke version of that?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Where are you going? He said to me as I quickly turned around with the flashlight to reveal the source of the sound. The man was now climbing out from under my bed, struggling to pull himself out as his eyes locked onto mine. In that moment, I ran over to curb stomp that motherfucker while he was still stuck under the bed, knocking him out while he was stuck. Like, I wish that happened, but that's not what happened.
Yeah, because his fight or flight mentioned flight. So, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, in the moment of shock and fear,
yeah.
I understand why you might freeze like he did, but still, that was like his one chance to get their upper hand on him when he's stuck and not really able to move.
Yeah, it was a little comical. It was like, where are you going? And he's like getting out of bed. He's like, come on.
Yeah, like especially if he doesn't have like the knife in his hand yet. Like, though going in to stomp that motherfucker puts you in range of his knife. Like you could kick him in the head, and then he reaches and pulls out a knife and hits you in the ankle.
And then your Achilles. Then you're basically like you're hobbled. So
yeah, basically. But yeah, there's a million things you could have done in that situation. Like if he's strong enough, like a better bet might have been rolling the bed on top of him, like sideways to pin him under there so like give a second to run. But as always, hindsight's 20/20. Plus, he was drunk at the time. I feel like we say that all the time because all these characters are fucking drunk.
Well, and that's because that's usually how these stories go. Like but also and like we're readers, so we're like oh, in that situation I'd fucking kick Jeff Killer's ass, and like in that and then in reality like no, you'd be fucking whimpering in the corner like a little bitch.
Thanks.
I don't say that just for you. I like most people I think would be fucking terrified in that situation.
Well, that's why I said hindsight's 20/20. Like thinking back on it, you would go over and potentially try curb stomping the motherfucker or doing something else or throwing shit at him. But in the moment of fear, everyone would probably do what he did. You just stand there until you run. Yeah,
for sure. Like I was agreeing with you. Like the hindsight is 20/20 thing. So
yes, but that's all I got.
All right. On to chapter 4, Ashley Carter. So I saw him take a sharp turn onto the middle of the street, keeping his hands in his pockets and his head low. With the closer look I now had at the guy, I could see he was wearing a white medical mask over his face that concealed most of his features. So I like the addition of the medical mask, as it further helps conceal Jeff's grotesque features when he's like out and about, like stalking.
You pronounced that wrong. That's oot in a boot.
Oot in a boot. Yeah. At least in some small way, it helps to like cover like up his more noticeable features when he's stalking around and prowling.
Absolutely.
And
especially
in
like post 2020.
I was literally just supposed to say, and in today's day and age, it's way more common in public.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It also brings to mind, at least for me, the Japanese urban legend of Kuchisaki Onna,
Bless you.
the slit mouth woman, which I'm pretty sure Jeff the Killer already kind of has like a similarity to in some ways, or at the very least, like people have already drawn in like kind of connections between like the urban legend of the creepypastas of Jeff the Killer and the urban legend of the slit mouth woman.
Mhm.
So I just like that idea. Like it just further adds on to like the creepiness of this encounter.
Yeah.
So, and then my next thing here. Oh, come on now. That's no way to. It's like, oh, come on now. That's no way to look at your brother. What would mom and dad think? He asked me, his voice now raising as he began advancing toward me again with that same hunched posture. I had no idea what he was talking about. This man was not my brother. I had never seen him before. Huh. So this is me reacting before reading any further chapters. So when I was reading this, I was like kind of getting like, is this a Halloween situation? Like the Michael Myers and Laurie Strode situation where like it's revealed Michael and Laurie are actually siblings, but Laurie never knew until being confronted by Michael because she was too young when Michael was arrested. And like she basically got up for she got adopted like later on.
Mhm.
Or is this just a deluded misidentification of Jeff's where he mistook Ashley for his brother Lou? Because they have similar like features like brown hair, early 20s and all that kind of stuff. I suppose we'll find out later in the story. Update. It does seem that Jeff is mistaking his victims for someone he's looking for, i.e. Lou.
Yes.
I will say though, I don't hate the idea of adding a third Woods sibling, having another character in like adding another like relation to the lore of Jeff the Killer. One that was maybe adopted or something at an early age and who Jeff's been searching for. I kind of like that idea of like why he's going around like killing people and like of a certain MO and such. And now somewhere out there, Dr. Leviathan has just gotten a chill. Wherever he's at, perhaps he's even letting out an angry cry for no apparent reason. now that I've tried to connect Jeff the Killer to a popular culture slasher.
I mean, you're not the first.
No,
and you won't be the last.
Yeah. But that's all I have for chapter 4. Mikey.
All right. With each step, he put all of his weight onto one of his feet. Yeah, that's how walking works.
Yeah. Well, it kind of like he's like I kind of like obviously it's like he's like kind of being very dramatic and like skulking, I guess.
If he's putting all of his weight on each feet, this motherfucker's prancing. He's going one foot forward with his other foot back.
My God.
That's all weight.
Oh my God. See, I'm visualizing this like very dramatic, like, and I'm even like I'm pantomiming this in my room, like I'm up on like do like, but then now I'm just picturing like, with the prance.
He's absolutely prancing.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Regardless of what he's doing, it's silly. Either he's prancing or he's going like when he's probably making the same noise of every time he takes a step to make himself seem more intimidating.
Yeah, it's like it's just like I'm going to get you. Why is he slow?
Yeah. But honestly, regardless of how he's walking, either of those silly ways of walking, if some crazy dude in the middle of the night is walking along the street to you like that, that'd be fucking terrifying.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, it's funny to us as the reader in our safe rooms, like in our locked homes, reading a creepy story on the internet. But if you're in that situation as that character, fucking that would suck so bad.
Yeah, some like blood-covered dude prancing down the street towards you. Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, I've had instances where like I've come across like walking at night in the city, of like I've encountered like homeless people and other people who are like drunken or deranged, and like they act or they're just acting kind of weird and sketchy, and like I've like got my guard up as I'm walking by them just in case they like come at me. So
Yeah,
this kind of thing is also kind of a nightmare situation, like in
for
real
sure.
life. Even with the prancing or the theatrical skulking,
Mhm.
like in fact, I think it's even worse because, like, again, like the dimming like street lights like shining on him, and he's just this just a dude acting really weird as he approaches you in a weird
Yeah.
way. Like that's fucked up. Like it almost plays on the fear of like the uncanny valley because like the person's not acting like a regular human being.
And like you said, it's something that a lot of people have probably actually witnessed.
Yeah,
Like some
I've
drunk dude just walking down the street acting weird.
hell, a handful of like creepy videos that me and Mikey used to watch with a friend of ours. A lot of them were just like people like filming like some weirdo like approaching them at night in not in the same way, but like in similar like just kind of like weird ways that like you wouldn't normally walk around and such. And like most of those videos are probably just regular people. I do in quotes regular people, as in not supernatural people, approaching somebody, but they're clearly something off about them or something like dangerous or sketchy about them.
Yeah, they're on something
And that's
for sure.
yeah, and that's the fear. Like it's the fear of like the unknown to a degree, but in a mundane way because like what's this guy's deal?
Yeah, he could run up and hug you, or he can freaking pull out a shiv.
Exactly.
Like,
Or bite your face off.
yeah. Or just shit on the floor and run away. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Just starts twerking and then like pooping.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'd still be fucking terrified if somebody just started twerking in the middle of the street.
While pooping, yeah.
I think honestly that's why like things like the Serbian dancing lady is got really creepy and like and got really viral.
Yeah.
If you're not aware
know what
of there are some videos like in 2023, 2024 of this girl in Serbia that was caught by I think a tourist where she's just like doing this weird like T-pose dance in the middle of the street at night in the middle of the night, looking away from the camera from the person with the camera, and then when they finally notice the person with the camera like I guess either approaching or just like filming them like they make a noise or something, they stop dancing, put their hands to their sides, and then immediately just whip around with a knife and just start running at them.
Really? Like
Like
for
they were-
real?
Yeah, well,
It could have been staged.
It was
It's something on the
likely,
internet.
yeah, it was likely just like like a staged creepy thing that went viral, like much like the Momo or any number of like Slenderman ARG stuff or creepy videos on YouTube and such. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it definitely like after like the one video, people started like saying that they were seeing them seeing the woman in other places in Serbia and then abroad. So yeah, it was a whole viral thing. But like yeah, like just this like again, people being weird at night in the middle of the street, always a fucking creepy thing.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think this is Mikey's, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, whose turn is it?
That's all I have for chapter 4.
Okay. Then Gamer.
Yeah, I got one. I was studying the Woods family homicide that happened a few years back and completely lost track of time. So that's your problem in regards to Ashley here. Like, don't be investigating crimes with criminals that are still in the loose unless you're ready to deal with them finding out that you're meddling.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
let the cops be targets. They're much better prepared to deal with being targets.
Yeah, that's almost like doing like doing the Bloody Mary ritual.
Yeah, you're asking for it.
Yeah. Congrats, Ashley. You're now inside of a horror movie.
Yes. But that's all.
Or
I got for 4.
yeah. Okay.
Or what?
I was like, or horror story in this case.
Yeah, exactly. But that's all I got for 4.
All right. Then on to chapter 5, Jonathan West. We were joking along with each other, Sherry excitedly pointing to everywhere she wanted to visit on this map that she brought along. All the while, the concrete pillars of Carpenter's Landing got smaller and smaller in our rearview mirror. It was going to be perfect. At least, that's what we thought. By the time we arrived at the forest clearing, the sun was already setting. We'd left late in the day, wanting to spend our first night relaxing far from the polluted air and bright lights that poisoned our lives day by day. Man, this town just sounds like it's a complete and utter shithole. Like,
Yeah.
no one in this story has anything nice to say about Carpenter's Landing. Like, there's other examples, like, oh, this shitty dilapidated apartment complex that looks like it should just be like derelict, and then there's this shitty apartment complex, and it's just raining all the time, and water's leaking into the potholes, and oh my god, just like this shitty town that I hate.
Mm-hmm. Why do we live here?
I was actually getting kind of an economic horror vibe too from this, because like it seemed like everybody in the story for the most part are like people that like want to get out of here, but they're either too poor or they're just in a shitty in a certain situation that just doesn't allow them to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like just that kind of the fact that no one seems to want to live here, but they can't like escape it.
Mm.
Like I really like you really feel that in this story of just like Carpenter's Landing is almost as much a monster as Jeff is.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the next thing I have here, he tackled me to the ground, raising the box cutter above his head and preparing to swing down at me. In that instance, I acted fast, stabbing him in the side of the torso with my hunting knife and kicking him off me as he screamed in pain. So, in this story, in this encounter with Jeff, he has a box cutter. In the previous encounter with Ashley, he had a hunting knife. And I like how this encounter implies an origin for how Jeff upgraded his killing implement in the previous story to a hunting knife.
Oh, did he leave it in him?
It's not said, so as far as I know, he did.
Did it say hunting knife, or I thought it was a kitchen knife before?
It was a hunting knife in the I think in Ashley's.
Control F hunting knife.
Yeah, look it up.
It was the hunting knife in the camp story.
Was it not a hunting knife in Ashley's one either?
There are only 2 mentions of the word hunting knife in this whole story. They're both in Ashley's. Or one's in Ashley. Hang on, wait.
Yeah.
Hang on.
One of them is in Ashley's? Yeah, then yeah.
Hang on. Yeah, Ashley, at the end of hers. Before I had time to question him about it, though, he pulled his other hand from his sweater pocket, revealing a used hunting knife that was covered in dried grassy blood.
Yeah, his blood.
His own blood, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like, and then in this story, like in the camping story in chapter 5, he's wielding a box cutter, like a bloody box cutter that he just used to kill somebody in the woods, and then Jonathan, I guess, I like it doesn't really like I know in the attack I was looking to see, it never says that he pulled it out. He just says that he stabbed him in the side and then kicked him. And then they ran. So as far as I know, like he left the knife in Jeff's side, and then Jeff just decided to upgrade from a box cutter.
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of like, because again, like the stories, like all these cases, these 3 cases, these 3 testimonies happened roughly about a month ago, like a month prior to the current killings, and but we don't know which order they came in. So like, Jonathan's testimony might have happened before Ashley's.
Probably did, yeah.
Yeah. So I just really like that. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like that we got like a sort of an origin for why he had a hunting knife in the previous one, and then in this one he has a box cutter, but Jonathan has a hunting knife that he stabs into Jeff. So yeah.
The whole fight scene though, like it kind of pulled me out a little bit with like realism stuff, because realistically, like if you tackle the guy, you're not going to do like a cinematic like movie, like I'm going to hold this knife above my head with both hands to stab down. No, he's probably just going to go for his side like what John did for him. But he's not necessarily thinking right because he's crazy, so
yeah,
who knows?
It's also a bit more cinematic. Like we've been saying, this story is very cinematic, so they might be going on that angle.
Also, like, how is he not bleeding out from wounds like that?
Maybe he's something supernatural. Maybe or he's something preternatural. So why? Or he's got that slasher fortitude.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Honestly, like, okay, you joke, you're snickering and you're scoffing. In D20 Modern, there is a template for the slasher killer who has, and it has like greater fortitude and even and like it's sort of like they will come back after like a D4 hours later if they're not
Mhm.
beheaded. If they're not beheaded,
Yeah.
like even if they run to 0 hit points, they will go into a torpor. Like, so they will appear dead, but then they will be able to like revive and like disappear and come back later. I.e., like any kind of slasher from the 80s and 90s.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what Jeff here clearly is just a D20 Modern template monster. And that's how I'd stat him out in a game.
hmm
But yeah, no, I think there might be some supernatural things afoot in this, but I could also be wrong. So I mean, with Jeff the Killer, it's sort of sometimes he sort of blurs the line of being like just a psycho killer and then sometimes being something a little bit more.
Yeah, but for no reason ever.
Yeah, it's usually like the only reason we get is like there's an inner rage in him or there's an inner like malice in him that like snaps or that is unleashed when he snaps.
It just closes up wounds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like how a barbarian would heal, just like through rage.
Oh God, I've been recently reading the Skullduggery Pleasant novels, like rereading them after like years, and the way they treat like sorcerers in that kind of now reminds me of like Jeff's situation here. Like if we're going with like Jeff has some supernatural like traits as a result of his malice and his madness, perhaps why he snapped is that he figured out his true name and unlocked his dark side. Like his and basically gained like a bunch of like superhuman abilities, including like super healing and such. So Jeffrey Woods unlocked his true name, Jeff the Killer.
Yeah, sure.
It's just an idea. Like again, like just something again, connective tissues time. Like I've been reading
absolutely
the Skullduggery Pleasant novels, and they already kind of deal with a lot of like serial killers and like horror, supernatural, like modern fantasy for kids or at least young adults. It's really like quick aside before the tangent police show up and kick down my door. One thing I gotta say, like I've been reading those stories and like the early novels are clearly like darker, like modern fantasy YA novels. And I had to check the age recommendation for the later, like for the last few in the first series, because things got so fucking graphic, just like violence wise and death wise. I was like, this is for kids. And I like the recommendations for the early books are about ages 11 plus. And then like at some point halfway through the series, it goes to 13 plus. And it's like, even 13 plus seems like it's a little like I would not be recommending a 13-year-old some of the later Skullduggery Pleasant novels. Maybe that's just like, maybe I'm just like not in touch with like how much kids can take, but like it just seems really dark and like adult, like there seems some like really adult and dark material for a 13-year-old to be reading. But I don't know. Hang on, I gotta make a call to the tangent police. I'll tell them I'm stopping. All right, I'm complying. Don't worry. Like, all right, we're back on the show. Okay. All right, I've called them off. We're good. Finally got their number. I finally got their emergency number to tell them. All right, yeah. So that's all I've got for chapter 5. Mikey, D stands for evil.
Yeah, I'm evil.
Okay, gamer.
Yeah, I got a few. First quote here. I remember how excited the two of us were when we finally made that drive. We were joking along with each other, Sherry excitedly pointing to everywhere she wished to visit on the map that she brought along. All the while, the concrete pillars of Carpenter's Landing got smaller and smaller in our rearview mirror. So, the way that Jonathan speaks, it sounds like this is more of a thought-out and written story than someone describing past events to a police officer, at least to me. Yeah. But maybe that's just the way the character talks.
Exactly.
And like he might be an author for all I know. So like that's why he's so wordy and he can just come up with these flowery descriptions on the fly.
It's just like, oh God, Mr. Wake, just wrap it up. Like we just need your report. We don't need a novel.
His name's Wes, not Wake. But
no, I know, but I mean, like, cause like, yeah, like Alan Wake, like
yes.
when he's giving his like, when he's giving his his testimony in the game. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was an actual quote you're doing. My apologies.
Well, no, but like it's a very similar like kind of thing. It's like, oh, like he's describing everything like in a very loving detail, like a novel. It's like I can just imagine the detectives or the cops just be like, oh, Mr. Wake, we just want the facts, not your fiction.
Yes, absolutely. But speaking of all this, I'm at least glad each of the three people telling their stories sounded like different people, just because the way that they gave the information was different every time, which I appreciated.
Yeah, that's sometimes very difficult to do when you're a writer. You're like trying to give characters a different voice than how you would write.
The easiest way to do it is if you know three different people, get them to write it, and then you just like proofread it and change it a bit, and it'll absolutely sound different.
True. Yeah.
But moving on. My wife is a worrier. She would usually plan ahead for every possible issue we'd come across, no matter how small. I wasn't exactly complaining about it, but it certainly made the first night far more exhausting than we'd ever planned. So I see why Jonathan is jacked now from like carrying tons and tons of supplies on every occasion, every time they do anything.
Yep.
Speaking of, the way that he was described is like he has like very chiseled features, so I immediately saw like a jacked, handsome Squidward.
Nice.
But with long, flowing brown hair,
See,
of course, because he has that.
You saw that, and where I went to, because connective tissue time again, I've been watching the Mighty Nine, and I immediately thought of Ford and Jester's voice actors who are a married couple, Travis and Laura, and like I was just picturing them because like I've seen them in and like Travis is jacked, like he's a built dude, he's a pretty strong dude, and then there's just Laura, and then Laura's like not meek or anything like that, but like she's definitely she's not as built as her husband. So I was just picturing that duo in the story.
Makes sense, because she would probably still be carrying a lot of shit too, because of the amount of stuff that they carry.
Yeah, and they're also actors. So like in this movie,
yes,
that's who Jonathan and Sherry would be.
Absolutely,
that's my fan cast for Jonathan and Sherry.
And then my last one for 5 is regarding Jonathan's story, basically taking so long to set up. I'm shocked that Sam wasn't like, Mr. West, can we get to the point while you're here? Like basically what you said with Alan Wake reference earlier. Because he talks so much about the setup and how much he loves his wife. Like he says that like 4 or 5 times. Like the first 8 paragraphs, I feel like could be condensed into 3. But again, it's the way the character talks. So I can't really fault it for that. But I'm surprised there were no interjections of like the cops like sitting there being like, how is this relevant to the story? Like to the case.
Yeah, that really needs to go on a T-shirt on Redbubble, on a Redbubble shop.
With the way the character talks, because we said that so much.
The way the character talks, and then maybe even have one that's like, it's the way the character talks, it's the way the character thinks, it's the way the character writes, just everything to.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's all I got for 5.
All right, on to our last chapter of today, chapter 6.
Almost done.
Yeah, Norman Keller. So I'm going to start with this one here. So we can at least agree they all encountered the same guy, right? I mean, the description were a bit off, but they were close enough that there is no way this wasn't the same guy, right? Norman asked, taking a brief pause from his pacing and turning to Samuel for reassurance. You know, I almost get the sense that the descriptions of Jeff in these testimonies, like in each testimony, while giving us the story's own flair of Jeff the Killer, it also kind of felt like they were different takes, depending on the encounter. Perhaps like as almost like nods of different iterations of Jeff through different rewrites that we've read in the past.
Yeah, because one of them had like no hair on the one side of his head.
Exactly. I noticed that. And that's the one that kind of like caught me. And then I went back and like thought of the other descriptions. Because again, like overall, like they all have the same kind of similarities for this story that like kind of tie them together and like makes them uniquely this rewrite's version. But there are some iterations or some details that are depending on the story that are slightly, especially in the last one with Jonathan, his testimony. Some of the description is like it caught me as like I've heard that one before from something else. Like, for example, like it almost made him like gave us the Jeff the Killer that was more like a Two-Face treatment. Like from there was a Jeff the Killer story a rewrite we did or we read and discussed that was. I think one we liked because it had it changed Jeff's description and like and how he got like scarred and stuff of that from being a Joker thing to like a Two-Face thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back and thought about like the one with Ashley. It's like, well, that one's like again, like I said, like the Kuchisaki Onna vibes. So, which again, like Jeff the Killer, like people have already kind of not linked or connected, but like they've see similarities between the two urban legends / creepypastas. So, yeah, I got that vibe from that. And that might be a nod to like that aspect of the Jeff the Killer lore. It's an interesting idea at the very least that I was like, oh, that I wonder if that is like a nod to like other iterations of Jeff the Killer, depending on who's writing it or who's giving their testimony, as it were.
So I want to say something, but I don't want to say something.
Is it like something that will ruin my whole idea here?
No, it's something that's like expanding on your idea of what you're talking about, how like they're like similar Jeffs from other ones. Like this is Into the Murderverse kind of situation.
Oh,
where like these are all actually other Jeff the Killers that showed up and they're all like in the same dimension now.
Yeah, it's like a Jeff the Killer is a fractaled entity, whereas like there are or like there's copycat killers, or there's a cult of Jeff or something, something along those lines. Where like again, like how we were thinking at the very beginning, it's like, oh, this isn't Jeff the Killer. Like Jeff the Killer's out there, but like in the backdrop, but he's the red herring. This is all Jane the Killer. Yeah, I don't hate that, but I also like. I don't know if I don't think that's where it's going, but that would be an interesting idea. I do actually feel,
just
especially
because
like,
of the slight discrepancies in the visuals.
The slight discrepancies, the fact that the town has a name that matches very closely to like Jeffrey's like main like last name, like Jeffrey Woods living in Carpenter's Landing. Like maybe Carpenter's Landing's like the anchor point for all the Jeff the Killers.
Oh my god.
I think that would be like honestly like legitimately like if he was like some kind of like Tolpaic entity, like some kind of like creature that's like made that's different that's fractured into different iterations based on like other people's like telling of his story. I think that would be like genuinely I like that idea. I still don't think that's going to be what we're going to get, but
no,
I think this is just a metaphysical or sort of like a metatextual nod in the story of just like kind of like, oh, like, yeah, like the descriptions aren't exact. They're similar. But they almost match other stories versions of Jeff in like sort of just like a wink kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like what you're putting down. I might have to use that for my own version, my own rewrite of Jeff the Killer down the road.
Thanks, I hate it.
It's
I don't know why I opened my mouth.
Like legitimately, with how ingrained Jeff the Killer has become in our podcasting lives, I feel like it's got to happen at some point. Like it's Jeff the Killer is just like, I am inevitable.
But like we're so close to being done with it. Like,
are we though? Are we?
Yeah,
though?
I thought we were. I thought I was about to be free.
That's the horror, the true horror of Jeff the Killer. You think you're out, but he keeps pulling you back in.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, there's that part there. Move on to the next thing I have here. So let me get this straight. You think that Samuel tried to humor his partner, but paid the price as he was interrupted once more. That's that Jeffrey Woods might
sorry.
that Jeffrey Woods might be our guy, and he wants to finish the job and by finding and killing his brother once and for all. Norman held his hands high as the words caught out.
High.
Norman held his head
surrendering.
I thought he was like his hands high, like, yes, we got it. Woo! No,
I
like,
did it.
Yeah. Norman held his head high as the words came out of his mouth. So I'm feeling a bit attacked indirectly from the story. But at how like this cop keeps talking over his partner. Kind of like how I've been doing in this episode, and I've been doing in previous episodes with Gamer. The fact that I won't be the fact that I won't that future me will not be editing out any of the times I've like talked over you like I do in previous ones.
I mean, I'm not used to it. It's just part of my life in general.
and like something I said last week, I think it was like last episode I mentioned that like I apologized and like and we went on about that. So it's like, wow, thanks Story for attacking me indirectly about my verbal tics or my mannerisms.
You're just excited. You're allowed to be excited.
I'm Norman Morgan.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, I'm Norman Keller. But yeah, I'll move on to the next thing I have.
But actually, in regards to that quote that you did, because I was probably going to read the same damn thing, actually. Right after that, he says, I appreciate your enthusiasm, Norman, but how could we be so sure? I mean, you're assuming a lot here. Basically, all they got to do is contact the hospital that treated him, and they would probably give like a positive ID based on his burns and scars alone. It's not really a big leap to assume that, considering how like unique and distinct his scarring is.
Yeah, true. Or again, pull up the Woods family file and like see if there's any photos of Jeff from there or
after the.
Well, maybe not after. Yeah, because it said that in this like so the murders of the family happened after the fire. So assuming that maybe like Jeff got burned up or got burned and hurt in the fire before they moved to Carpenter's Landing, and then before Jeffrey snapped and murdered his family.
Yeah.
But again, we maybe those details will be more clarified in the next couple of chapters.
Mm.
But yeah, I did find that interesting that there was a fire before the murders, like that basically
that
necessitated
happens.
them. Well, no, like there's a fire that necessitated them moving to the new town and then getting the origin story about Jeff snapping and becoming the murderer that we know.
Yeah, because all the other ones they don't move; they just a fire happens and.
Well, actually, no. Most of the rewrites they do move in. They just don't give us a reason for why they've moved.
Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm. But at least in this one, we're also like at least from an outside point of view, i.e., the cops like finding out about like the Woods family. Jeffrey was already a bit of a black sheep before he snapped. So, which we always we sometimes get in the story. Like he's the kid that's kind of like not abused, but he's like treated as like the bad seed of the family. Anyway, I digress. Are you all good for your for that comment for that or?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll move on to the next thing I have. As the two of them stepped into their car, they noticed that the rain outside was finally coming to a stop after hours of relentless flooding the streets. The water now weakly ran down the pavement, finding its way into whatever pothole it could, and draining away to nothing in small whirlpools. Okay, I'm sorry. The pothole. Those are not if the water is draining into potholes and draining through the bottom of the potholes into whirlpools. Those are not potholes. Those are sinkholes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like they're going deeper than any pothole ought to go.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just hammering home how shitty apparently Carpenter's Landing is.
I just imagine everyone having to like swerve down the road to dodge these massive holes that you could sink a car in.
The median line is just is like the newer version, the newer paint on the median line is just like a wavy line.
Yeah.
It's just a squiggly line. But yeah. Continuing with this quote, the car ride passed in an excited quiet, and the two officers believed themselves to have found a lead that would bring them one step closer to stopping the killings of the ghost stalker once and for all. It is a literal calm in the narrative storm, isn't it? Like
Absolutely.
everything's coming up Millhouse or Morgan. Speaking of Morgan, how many days till Sam's retirement? No reason.
How many names?
No, how many days till Sam's retirement?
0 probably, because he's gonna be retired in this day.
Yeah, no, like legit, like this is like it's like everything's brightening up. Like literally, the atmosphere of the town is getting brighter and calmer. This is just about we're just about to hit the fan.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
shit is just about to hit the fan for these. Like it's like, oh, this is like literally the calm before like the final like push of darkness and horror. This is the fake out calm that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But I'll move on to the last thing I have here. So we've been talking a lot about like the location of Carpenter's Landing, and so go with this quote here. A large apartment complex located on Great Mandy Street. The apartment was like most other buildings the two had seen in Carpenter's Landing, a great pillar of old worn stone that tried its hardest to imitate the comfortable living spaces seen in other cities. Graffiti lined the walls at the side of the building, depicting many colorful pieces of imagery that starkly contrasted the deep grays that made up the entire town. So, as dismal as Carpenter's Landing has been described throughout the story by various characters and such, I do love every description of it. As far as I can tell, it's not a real place. Like I said earlier, like I tried looking it up. As far as I could Google, Carpenter's Landing is not a real place as it's described in this story. But its scenes, like the descriptions of it, of its location, of the scenes and stuff like that in this story and in this setting, feel fleshed out and lived in, for better or worse, for its citizens. Like again, the city of Carpenter's Landing to me, like this backdrop for this story about Jeff the Killer, is almost its own character in the story with how detailed it is, and I appreciate that because you get a sense of geography of like a fictional geography when you're with various things like like the apartment was on like this one says Great Mandy Street, and we get other street names for the other apartments they visited as well. So and other descriptions of like these crummy apartments. So like you just see that I can just visualize this town being just this like rundown, like dilapidated, like kind of urban pocket of despair, of economic despair. So
yeah, like when most stories just say like it takes place in this town, it's this season, it's this time of day. That's about it. This one like goes hard into the descriptions.
Yeah, and I really exactly yeah. I really like. I'm a huge sucker for like describing a town, describing a location, as much as describing other like characters in your story, because that way you get a better, like as a reader, you get a better sense of like where the characters are existing in. So yeah, that's my last thing for chapter 6. Mikey, the E stands for evil.
Well, let's see here. I'm evil.
All right. Wouldn't have it any other way, sir. And gamer.
Okay, I got a couple left. A few hours pass at the station, with Norman conducting his own research on one of the 6 communal computers left at the office for times like this. He was completely absorbed with his work, typing away and looking into every document he could find pertaining to the Woods family homicide, when he suddenly felt a tap on his shoulder. He quickly turned around to see a knife go in his stomach as Jeffuary Woods stood over him, saying his signature catchphrase, "Go to sleep."
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
See, again, you don't research this guy. You don't look into it. If you meddle, he'll give you metal.
Oh, yeah. You know, I was definitely picturing that, like, of like, oh, he's gonna like more. Well, Norman's dead. Like as soon as this chapter 6, Norman Keller is like, well, Norman's toast. Or Norman's going to encounter Jeff.
Yes.
At the office. But then also, I have also seen this trope thousands of times where there's a fake out where like you think the hand that taps on the guy's shoulder is going to be the killer, and then it's revealed to just be like one of their friends or allies.
Which, to clarify, is what it is. I was
Yes.
jokingly saying that Jeff killed him.
Yeah, not to confuse anybody, like not to throw anybody off. That was a skit. That was a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The real one is that Dan Sam shows up with the document. So.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of said documents, a photo of Lou Woods. The boy looked about in his 20s. He had long brown hair that went down to his shoulders and sported a pair of square glasses over top his large brown eyes. Sam, he looks just like him. I told you I was onto something. He looks like who? He looks like Vic, the dead alcoholic whose description wasn't given. Bruce, the tall, overweight, bald guy.
Vic? Hang on. Vic?
Wasn't Vic the first guy?
No, it was Jay.
It was Jay. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote down Vic.
Like Vic's another victim that gamer has added to the story.
It's probably just I was thinking of victims. Vic in. But regardless, Jay, the dead alcoholic whose description was given. Bruce, the tall, overweight, bald guy. Ashley, the small, thin person with short hair. Jonathan, the tall, jack dude with shoulder length hair that looks like the frickin' like Chad dude, like Chad face man. Like, which of those does he look like? Literally, the only thing these people have in common is their hair color and their birth gender. That might be all that Jeff needs to make the connection, but not Norman and Sam.
Yeah, I will say, Norman's being a little too hasty on this. Because, like you said, like, all the victims and all the witnesses are Caucasian, in their 20s, brown hair. And in some cases, some of them aren't shoulder-length hair. I think Ashley had, like, cropped hair, like, short cropped hair.
Bruce was bald. Yep. Bruce was bald.
Was Bruce bald?
He was bald. He had like a short beard, but he was bald.
But Bruce wasn't. Jeff didn't say he was his brother though. So Bruce was just attacked for reasons.
But he did have his beard was short brown hair, so he was still a brunette. He was just bald. But yes.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So. Yeah. It is funny that Norman's like, look, they look just like him.
But like who though?
Yeah, that's exactly. It's like the description of Jeff, because that's not what we get at all from any of the descriptions. Like, he's got to mean like the victims and stuff. Again, Jeff going after all these people because of the brown hair and stuff like that. Again, that he's in Delulu land, and basically like he's just seeing certain details, and it's triggering something in his deluded mind of him of possibly being his brother.
Do you mean he's in Delu Woods land?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, and then Norman here is being again, greenhorn rookie cop is it's exactly like all our other guys. We got him.
Yeah. I just wish he said he looks just like Jay.
Yeah, honestly, that
looks just like the murder victim, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, because and again, it does fit their character types, like Norman being the over enthusiastic rookie cop, and his partner Sam being the older, wiser, more experienced, by the book, kind of by the book, or
dead
lived
inside
experience.
Cop.
Yeah, dead inside, lived experience.
Yeah.
Cop. That's there to tone down the enthusiasm.
Mm.
It's he's because especially when he adds things it's this is the proudest he's ever been of his partner.
Yeah.
It's I've never liked you, Norman, but by God, you might be onto something. I'm proud of you this time. But yeah.
They do the "you son of a bitch" handshake.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's all I got for notes.
Okay. Then on to final thoughts. So far, I am really liking the story. I'm loving the details of the characters and the details of the setting. How things are being laid out to us and such is really fun. I was liking these testimonies of near death experiences from potential victims of Jeff the Killer. It never says it's Jeff the Killer, because obviously the cops don't know, and I like that they've even given him a a new nickname to that matches like the Ghost Stalker or the Ghost Killer or the Ghost Kisser.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
the one that's not in the story.
Yeah, the one that's not in the story, the one that's our bit. But I do like that because it does match. Like like that sounds like something locals would call a local serial killer that didn't know the name of. Like like all they know is he's like a white faced like grotesque looking like guy who can just like seemingly get in and out of people's homes and kill them. So like, yeah, he's straight up like a ghost.
Oh, right. The ghost part might literally just be because of how pale he is, not just the fact that he leaves no trace.
Yeah, that's what I figured as well. But yeah, so I'm liking that aspect of it. I'm curious to see what we're gonna get in 7, 8, 9. It does really feel like we've left off on like a good part, on a good spot for like tune in next time when Sam and Norman encounter Jeff the Killer. So
wait,
yeah,
is he literally like a Ghostface Killer?
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Ghostface Killer is a rapper, by the way.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were
that's a reference I was making.
I thought you were referencing Scream.
No.
So,
is he referred to as Ghostface?
Yeah, Ghostface is the killer in Scream because of the ghost mask.
Oh, okay. Ghostface Killer is from the Wu-Tang Clan,
which he probably got it from Scream.
Probably, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google that.
Okay, while you do that, yeah. So obviously, I don't have like a full recommendation or anything like that right now, like or any kind of like actual recommendation. I'm gonna hold that off till we've read the last of the chapters. But for now, I'm liking what I've been reading. Like I missed a bunch of typos and stuff that the others picked up, mostly because I was just enjoying the story that much. I enjoyed the story that much. So yeah, I look forward to seeing how things shake out. Mikey, these stands for evil. I'm still evil.
Yeah. All right. So, I like that we get a detective story out of this, because detectives are cool, and you at least have two characters that are interacting with each other, trying to find the quote-unquote killer. So I liked that aspect. And then I like that we get other testimony from witnesses, even though the one detective's like, this is going to be a total waste of our time.
Well, yeah, he's got to say that because he's like skeptical. Also, I did like to say Norman's just like, by the way, I've asked all the witnesses to show up at the station. We're going there right now, and I literally, like Sam's like, wait, you what? And I literally like, you what? Like just like I expected him to be a lot more like angry about that or like shocked. At least that's how I visualized that interaction.
Yeah. And then it's interesting that they've grabbed the loose straw of Lou's picture.
Loose straw, lose straw. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because like he has the same. If it wasn't for the testimony saying like that he found his family or whatever,
yeah,
they wouldn't have necessarily tied it to Lou.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I like that part of it. So as far as chapters 1 to 6 go, I'm currently going to recommend this.
Okay.
I'm shocked.
And then we have Gamer.
Like he never recommends things.
It's a Jeffuary miracle?
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, aside from the few like head scratching moments I had and the lack of interjections and questions during the people coming in to give their stories to the police, it was a solid read, honestly. I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it quite a bit so far. even the flipping perspectives every chapter worked quite well. Meanwhile, I thought it was going to be hell just conceptually, but it works well. It has a creepier and more like real feeling vibe to everything compared to like other Jeff the Killers.
Yeah,
Because
I think
it has a more of a feel of, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Meanwhile, all the other ones is like, who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah, again, like they don't know, or they don't know what us, the reader, know, like that this is a Jeff the Killer rewrite. They're dealing with this ghost stalker, this weirdo who's like got a fucked up face, like fucked up smiling face that's like going after people and like of a certain MO, like or of a certain appearance, like. So yeah,
it pulls on the, like you said before, it pulls on the whole like stranger danger thing that is scarier than everything else. So like I'm looking forward for this to continue with the momentum that it has, and I hope that I'm not foreshadowing for what's to come.
I am currently optimistic about how it's going to end, but we will have to see.
Also, more importantly, Ghostface Killer, his name comes from the villain in named the Ghostface Killer in the 1979 kung fu film The Mystery of Chess Boxing.
Okay.
And Scream came out 3 years after he took the name Ghostface Killer. So if anything, Scream might be referencing him.
Or it was a happy coincidence.
No.
There are no coincidences.
Yeah. But I learned a thing.
That's cool. We all learned a thing. I didn't know that.
Thank you, Pastra's Jeff the Killer rewrite, for teaching me the origin of Ghostface Killer's name.
And with that,
actually, speaking of, would you call this a Jeff the Killer rewrite? Because it doesn't seem like a rewrite. It seems more like a aftermath. Because there's no origin story yet. It's not a reboot. There's no origin story. It's what happens after everything else.
Yeah, it could. Now, again, we don't like the next 3 chapters are titled Lou Woods Continued, and then Jeff the Killer. So, and those ones are roughly the same page count as the last of the previous 6 chapters that we just covered. So we might have just read like a whole bunch of like basically setup for what is going to be a rewrite of the origin of Jeff the Killer.
Yes, for sure. So far, it has not been a rewrite. It's been an aftermath.
Yeah. So far, it's honestly been like less of a rewrite and more just like Pastra's Jeff the Killer story.
Yeah. Also, like the title doesn't say Pastra's Jeff the Killer rewrite. Oh, it does actually. The title of the Google Doc you gave me does not say it, but the title of the actual document does say rewrite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll find out if it actually is by the end.
Yeah, actually, let me just quickly pull something up. Yeah, and actually on Pastra's video that like of him reading, he rewrote the classic 2011 creepypasta in his own style of storytelling. And the YouTube video specifically because that's the one that's most accessible because you have to be a member of Tumblr in order to read it because of the content warning on Tumblr. But it's the YouTube video is I rewrote Jeff the Killer.
Yes.
So yeah,
we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to a more interesting origin story that does not involve bleach and fire.
I mean, you say that, but I think, yeah, okay. I mean, we do know that he gets burned. We don't know how he gets burned exactly.
Should I Control F bleach and see what happens?
No, don't do that yet.
I'm halfway there.
No, don't live on that prayer.
All right, fine, I won't.
But yeah, save it till next week.
Okay.
When we dive into the heart of darkness, that is Jeff the Killer rewrite by Pastra, chapters 7, 8, and 9.
So 6 through 9. Nice.
No, not 6 through 9.
Oh, well, shit, we did 6. Never mind.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say it.
I know.
Don't judge me.
I'm not. Anyway, yeah. So, right as of right now, it seems like we're all kind of like we're on a high note. We're leaving this rewrite on a high note. So we'll see if it can keep that momentum going and actually like come to a satisfying conclusion. But yeah, we'll find out.
It'd be rare. because most of them I don't like.
True. Yeah. I mean,
there have been a couple that have been quite good though. And this is a contender.
Yeah. But that's it for tonight. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below, wherever this gets posted. Some of us are on Blue Sky. Mikey is at the East Ends for Evil, and I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com, where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, spooky things. You creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah. And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can go to Patreon. We have special episodes, early access, and extra content. To all our patrons helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay, and as always, we very much appreciate that. And to our listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely, because without your listenership, it'd be like screaming into the void. And without your authorship, writing and posting and even reading these stories on your own channel on YouTube, and on the internet as a whole, we really wouldn't have much of a show because we'd have nothing to talk about. So thank you. Now's a good time to mention that we are a part of a podcast network, Crit in the Night, an actual play and creepypasta podcast network. We're there alongside our sister podcast, One Less Die, and our cousin podcast, The Role Playing Exchange, for things that go crit in the night. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the East Ends for Evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well and
Go to sleep.
So we're going to start with Chapter 1, J. Douglas, the Dougler. No. Sorry.
You better be prepared to give everyone a nickname now.
Yo, no. Samuel Morgan. Mr. Morgan. Bruce McDonald had a...
Oh, you're just popping off now.
Yeah, hey, you started this.
I did. This is my fault.
Ashley Carter of Mars and John West, Desperado.
Wow. I'm surprised you just popped those off real quick.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like, there's no editing in that.
And then there's Norman Keller. Norm! Like from Cheers.
I thought you were going to go with a Helen Keller reference, honestly.
Oh, that would also go. Yeah, Norman Keller. Yeah. Norm and Keller would work really well.